Welcome to the Future Proof Leader podcast. I'm Charles C. Baldwin, co founder of Twin Legacy Solutions, where we automate your pipeline, elevate your leadership, and future proof your team. Today, we're hearing from John Newcomb. He's the founding partner of Newcomb Associates. We're going to just dive into his leadership journey, his business experience as an entrepreneur, and what's kind of led him to where he is today. A lot of our viewers are entrepreneurs, they're business owners, and they just love hearing these kinds of stories. So, John, we're really excited to have you here today. Thank you for joining. Before I dive in, do you want to just introduce yourself, anything about your business, and then we can jump into some specifics?
Sure. No, thank you. And thank you for having me and love the opportunity. Look, I've been around for a while. I am an architect, and I've worked with many large corporate firms, and I've led ventures in mostly in Latin America. So we've set up the practice in Latin America. And so I speak Spanish. I do have a Latin background, my mother being from Colombia, South America. So I know the language and I know the culture, and that's been really helpful. So I've really kind of worked across different countries, different cultures, and have a lot of experience. But then when we started Newcomb Associates, it's kind of funny, because if I keep going and looking and working in the corporate world, they don't always appreciate the elder statement, okay, or the person that knows a lot. We come across as maybe being slower or just being too expensive. So we realized as Newcomb Associates that clients do want experience, okay? They do like that. So we decided to really start Newcomb Associates as a very agile, very small, very dedicated, focused practice that would really help developers and help the family offices and help our clients and really participate with them. I might have begun my career believing architecture was about making buildings, but then kind of learned that the problem is that there is the lack of clarity about what the project might be, what it
Mm,
needs. So they struggle. And it's not, they don't struggle because the quality of the design is bad. They struggle because the early decisions weren't made, uh,
hmm
bringing all this experience. So we've really found that at the beginning is when big decisions need to be made. And we decided and we kind of came to the conclusion that our purpose was to bring clarity before there was a lot of commitment. So that's kind of what we do. So strategy first, design consultancy might be a description of who.
Yeah, no, that's valid because once you're, I've done some projects with real estate and not even close to your level, of course. But yeah, once you're in the projects, that's when it's pretty costly to try to fix it, right? You got to have that strategy up front. I think that actually that lesson can really apply to a lot of business lessons in general, right? Like you got to have a strategy. Don't just wing it and then try to fix it later. So that definitely makes sense. So that kind of helps us understand what your organization does. I know I asked you before the recording, but your background, can you tell us about your background?
Well, the background is kind of an example of what we do. Okay, so we realized, a normal architectural process typically takes a long time, and that's fine. Okay, it's a very, very technical field, and it involves a lot of other people, and it takes time to put these buildings together and these ideas together and to
Right.
specify them. But we kind of, and we basically used it. There was an analogy from Matthew Gladwell's book called Blink, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which means that you can take this experience and you sort of kind of know what the answer is or what the direction might be, where it's going to go. And so we created a product or service that we call Blink or Blink Plus. So
Okay.
we have a little
Right.
addition.
Right.
And Blink is it's not a shortcut. It's really kind of a disciplined process for early decision making. So we Blink operates before form. It operates before there's complexity, and it's before you start spending a lot of capital. And so, in a very short time frame, in weeks instead of months, we're able to give clients a general idea of what the highest and best use is for a site. We can come up with some ideas and concepts. We can generate data, area counts, how efficient the spaces would be, what the program should be. Can we add more residential? Can we add more retail? What kind of retail should it be? So we go through all of that, and then we diagram that, we take out the areas, and then we generate visuals. And for the visuals, use we're sort of assisted by artificial intelligence. And so we're not saying this is what the final product is going to look like, but this is what it's going to feel like. And we work with the clients on that so that they feel comfortable with what we're showing and the experience. So the background in some ways is a mixed use project that has office, retail, and has residential. And these components all have to work together. And so it's when you have these renderings or these images or these visualizations, we tend to try to pick an image that is showing the whole story, okay? That people can sort of identify what it's going to feel like. Now, it's not yet designed, it's not yet specified, but in this particular case, we feel really comfortable about the amount of GLA, gross leasable areas. We feel really comfortable about how the servicing is going to occur for what might be these retail components. We
Right.
feel good and comfortable about the type of experience that people are going to have when they come here. And for those who are in those residential units, what their life's gonna be and how they add to the experiences. They're actors. Everybody's kind of an actor, okay, in when they visit or they live or they work at one of these mixed use projects. So visuals for us have been very helpful. Now this one, because it's gone a little further, we typically do our initial renderings and visuals are really kind of in watercolor. Okay, so we're not committed. And this project has gone to the next step, so we're a little more committed into what kind of materials and finishes it's going to have. And again, I say the artificial intelligence is a tool that
Right.
helps us still controlling the design. And we've learned how to really use artificial intelligence to kind of work on what our ideas are, okay? What we want to evoke. And sometimes it's so it's really a tool. Okay, so we've spent a tremendous amount of time learning, and so there's a lot of different programs and things that are being used. Okay, it's not just one single use or one single script that's doing this. There's a lot of some post-production. So all of this is funny because in Latin America, visuals play a huge role for people to kind of understand what it
Right.
is that we're thinking about or what we and in the US, a little less. I think they want more of the data. Our blink is, if you think about it, we're kind of filling all the voids, okay, that
Yep.
people might have.
Yep. My husband is all about the data. I love data too, don't get me wrong. I want the data, but I want the visual too. I need both. So it sounds like you offer both. I love all the talk about AI. You know that we're big on AI at our organization, obviously. You said that your organization has learned a lot. What did you guys do to learn? I'm just curious. Is this like self-paced learning or did you attend courses? What did your organization do to help the employees to learn?
Well, okay, so our employees or our associates, okay, we
Okay.
are a bespoke type firm. Okay, so that means that we do work in a virtual environment. Okay, so we're kind of all over the place. And when we get together for a project, it's sometimes we're kind of reacquainting ourselves, with each other. So we have people in Mexico City and people who are in the Chicago area and people in Texas and people in California and people in Europe and so
Wow.
they're kind of all over the place. But we've all worked together before, okay? Before all of this. So we kind of know each other. We
That helps.
know, yeah, it really helps. And we know what our capabilities are and we know how to work. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
that really helps.
Yeah.
So there's no loose ends there. So and everyone, there are different age groups. Some of us have 35, 36, 40 years of experience. So we're very hands-on and not technically as inclined. Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
but we have a good imagination.
Sure.
And then some are younger, okay, who might be in their 20s or early 30s,
Fun.
but are really, really, really technically savvy.
Mhm.
And then we have these real youngsters that are like, oh, I'm going to decipher how AI works, okay, and what the process is, and so we can actually pinpoint exactly where it is that we want to make a change
Yep.
very specifically. I didn't know how to do that. It was really someone else in our
Yep.
team who sort of figured out, yeah, I can tear apart this whole process, this artificial intelligence process and
Mhm.
how it's working, and we can pinpoint exactly where we want to make a change, and we can make it really effective. So it's been a really team effort. But I have to admit that for the data analytics, there are a number of programs that we experimented with,
Okay.
sort of said these work, these don't
Yeah.
work. It's amazing, okay, what's out there in the market. Sometimes we worked with as a beta kind of
Yep.
effort, with somebody so we can actually provide feedback. That's been very helpful.
Mhm.
We've learned a lot. But then on the actually rendering part, it's I can tell you there's probably 4 or 5 different applications that have been used for the rendering that you see behind me.
It's beautiful. I love that. Well, yeah, I mean, what you described with your organization where you have some who are younger and in it every day, right? They're probably using AI constantly on their phones and to make decisions all day long through the seniority of the organization. I think that's pretty normal, I would say, right? A lot of the organizations we work with, especially like medium-sized businesses that have a team similar to your size, it sounds like you have this wide a range of experience, but I still think it's important that everybody understands it and leverages it to enhance people, right? It's not to replace. I know, there's the fear of it replacing, and sure there's certain industries more at risk for that, but what we really encourage is that AI can just enhance people, and it sounds like that's what your team has really leveraged it for.
Yeah, I think I agree. It does enhance, but you have to have the spirit, okay, for
Yes.
looking at it as a tool. So I would say as architects, yeah, you can't. No one's it's the old stereotype positions maybe
Yep.
don't exist anymore. A designer needs to explore. A designer needs to read a lot, needs to
Hmm.
look at examples, has to understand what's happening. And so
Right.
at the firm, we spend a tremendous amount of time learning, looking, exploring,
Love
and
that.
just analyzing and then
Yeah.
sort of seeing. And then we also have to kind of be up to date on trends and innovations and things that are happening. So you have to think differently. And that goes as well with the people who are drawing, the people who are rendering, the people who are doing different things. So I would say that we're doing essentially the same thing. We're following the same process, but we have elevated our knowledge base and these tools that help us then represent this, I think, more clearly and with greater clarity. Okay, so when we take, for instance, massing, okay, these programs or these applications allow us to really translate that massing into volume and area. Okay, we can
Mhm.
have gross and net and sellable and support areas clarified. We can the dimensions, okay, or the proportions of things, and we can represent it in different ways very, very quickly. So it's kind of intuition meets math. Okay,
Mhm.
it sort of starts making sense, and we then can work logically and with, I would say, a great ability of demonstrating it. Let's say front of house and back of house. So in the image that you see before me, we're seeing front of house. Okay, we're seeing the front, we're seeing the the storefronts, we're seeing sort of what the experience. But behind all of this, there's a whole servicing, a whole supporting mechanism. So when we use these applications, we're able to kind of look at everything holistically. Yeah,
Mhm.
a lot easier and a lot better.
I think what you really hit on is the learning aspect, right? Always be learning. And the sales side, they say always be selling. Every time you talk to someone, you should always be selling. I think you should always be learning, right? Because it's constantly evolving. And whether it's on the creative side or AI or whatever, leadership, There's always something you can learn by attending podcasts, reading articles, whatever. So yeah, thank you for your insight on that. So moving forward a little bit, obviously, new year, we're here. It's 2026 already, which is crazy. Last year flew by. As a business owner, do you have any advice maybe for newer business owners or founders just starting off? What are some things that you think leaders need to be thinking about in 2026 for them to stay competitive and relevant?
Well, okay, when you start a business, it's really hard. It's really tough, okay? And you're going to have lots of ups and downs. It's a lot of work. So you have to
Mhm.
be ready for it, okay? I think it's in you have to have partners, you have to have associates, you have to have people that are adding value and who kind of think the same way. So everyone's really a leader, is really a team effort. Someone's the front, someone's in the back, but it's everyone's got to kind of work together in that kind of an environment.
Mm.
So you have to be kind of ready for that. I think you need to be patient. Patience is a tremendous virtue
Yes.
that one needs to have starting a business. And so you're going to have the ups and downs. So I would say 2024 for us was an incredible year. 2025 was a terrible year. Okay. 2026 looks like it's going to be a good year. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the mechanism. You have to be ready for that. You have to
Yeah.
know that that's kind of the cycle's reality.
Weather the storm.
I think the other thing is that when you do, and it's tough when you do have commissions or you are working, you always have to have in the back of mind, well, what's next? So you do
Hmm.
have to have that kind of business savvy to sort of see the future, pursue the future, and don't stay just in the present. Okay. I think you really have to be active in social media. For me, it's been more like trying to understand what it is that we offer, what makes us different. And it has to be really kind of, you have to really believe it. So, and it
Yeah.
takes time. So what's the why? You know, what's the why would they hire us? Okay.
Hmm.
So as you're selling, as you're putting together your pitches, as you're working with clients, you have to be kind of aware and kind of picking up on what might be those little things. Words like, well, experience. Okay, I'm bringing clarity. I'm bringing
Hmm.
experience to the table. Our team does that. We work hard on that, but did we just figure that out? No, we had to kind of work along the way to sort of find exactly what it is that makes us unique and
Yeah.
really then don't grab onto that and use that. And so social media is a good way of promoting that once you find it to really kind of
Absolutely.
be promoting what it is. In our case, where we're not very good, I would say, Instagram. I don't think we're very good. Facebook seems to be like only old people see Facebook these days. I don't think we're a TikTok type entity, but who knows? Okay,
Sure.
you never know. But LinkedIn has been very good for us as a business forum. Even though I have to say this, that I haven't gotten a single commission because I posted something in LinkedIn
Really?
or I have not gotten a single email that says to our info at newcombsassociates.net. But has it helped? I think it does because when we do talk to a new client, they're almost looking at our LinkedIn profile more than our webpage and what we say, what we promote, what it is that we believe. So I think social media and always being aware that you have to be posting things. You have to
Right.
be getting the word out. When I got the invitation to the podcast, hey, well, great opportunity, to talk a little
Media.
bit about us and to use this as
Yeah.
well. Okay. So certainly it takes a lot of work, and you can have one, two, three, or 10 people, and you all have to be kind of working together and really believe in
Hmm.
what you're doing. And then I think that communicates can be felt and experienced by clients.
Absolutely. Yeah, John, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think any entrepreneur that I've ever talked to, whether on podcasts or through our clients that we talk to, it's a roller coaster, and we've experienced it too. Last year was a great year for us. We just went through a merger, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be rainbows and roses, right? It's going to be a roller coaster. So you got to buckle up. You got to weather the storms, and the way you do it is through having a strong, aligned team and find what makes you unique. So I love that. Thank you, John, so much for taking the time to meet with us today. This was really insightful. I loved learning about your organization and your approach to success. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, and I really appreciate it. And we're available, and we any maybe let's make a change and have someone send me an email, okay, at info@newcombsassociates.net. And certainly we can talk about, even if we have to talk about how we do things, it'd be interesting. We might also learn from somebody else. So thank you. Thank you for having me, Charles.